Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday, and with me, as always, that's my co-host, Nick Mason.
It's great to be here.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's always great to be here.
Always.
I think so.
Wow, you've never had a moment where you're like, I wish I was doing anything else with anybody else or nobody.
Well, I mean, that's a very broad category of how do I have regrets there. Boy, you know?
Yeah. Oh, the dog's here.
I mean, if your question was would I rather be doing somebody else's podcast, no, I'd rather be doing this podcast. But if you were like, would I rather be like on a yacht drinking cocktails? Yes, every time. But like, even in the rain.
But it's just you on the yacht, so you're in charge of the yacht.
I have to steer
You're mixing cocktails while steering through a storm?
Maybe.
That's what you prefer?
I've got to have a G&T while I steer through a storm, you know? So
I like to think there's like a billionaire on the yacht that you're looking after, and you're all the stuff, and they don't know that. So it's a real faulty tower situation where you're putting on your waiter's coat.
Yeah, that's right.
You're taking an order, then you're making the drink, and then you're swerving out of the way of
Where's this waiter? Where's my drink? He's in like the driver's cabin, he's on the bridge, and I'm like, I don't know, I'll make a call. And I'm frantically steers an iceberg and a hurricane.
Brilliant, Mason. Brilliant sketch.
Anyway, I'd rather be there.
Okay.
I'd rather be under unimaginable stress than doing this podcast.
Don't you think you maybe have something to say about both the Acolyte, which we'll talk about in what we're reading, and also the new Netflix movie Hitman?
I would say that.
Yeah.
I'd probably say that movies are back, and I'd probably say episodic television is back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
would also say the theatre experience is back.
Yep.
But I didn't have a chance to watch the movie The Watcher, so we'll do that next week.
We'll talk about that and next week, among other things. We might do a little horror kind of package wrap-up. We'll do that, maybe Immaculate. Maybe there's also a TV show we haven't anticipated that's maybe there's a live-action X-Men series that we missed that's coming out this week.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Sometimes we miss a big one, don't we?
We do, don't we? But we're not going to miss the news of the week, Mason, which is all time-coded below, including the next choice of the next Avengers director and what direction that's going to take.
Okay.
What Jordan Peele? What
are these off the top of your head, James? Are you just guessing? Are you like, there's probably Avengers? Jordan Peele.
I'm also steering a ship, so I'm running between this and we do this on a boat. So I'm running between this and getting out of the way of an iceberg. So Jordan Peele apparently went for an MCU movie which fell through. We're going to talk about that. There's going to be more Hunger Games.
Whoa.
Which I think is bad because as a concept, I don't know about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making children kill each other for sport.
Oh, making children think about the status quo and how it might be bad?
Yeah, it's
interesting.
Bad. Yeah. Trailers ahoy for Venom, The Last Dance, The Killer's Game, and Alien Romulus. Plus news on the next Predator movie.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, there's a new Predator movie, but it's not Prey 2. Right. But Prey 2 is also happening. Yeah, so here we go. Let's start with this. It's via Deadline. Sean Levy is the top choice and is apparently having early conversations to direct the next Avengers movie, whatever that is, Secret War something, maybe not Kang Dynasty or something.
Deadpool 3 director Sean Levy.
That's right.
Free Guy director Sean Levy.
Night at the Museum Sean Levy, maybe.
Ryan Reynolds is a pilot, future pilot. He's his own.
He's his own dad at Star Wars. Is that a lightsaber?
Sean Levy.
Man, it's not a lightsaber.
Did he do that one?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, great.
I think he did, actually. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't mind it. I mean, let's see how his Deadpool movie is, to be honest.
Yeah, that's probably
I mean, you look at sometimes directors work well with, not to name any names, within the MCU and then maybe not out.
The Russo brothers.
I said I'm not naming names.
Yeah, but I'm naming names. Oh. I'm naming names. Joe Russo, the other Russo.
Give him a chance.
Yeah.
Look, also, to be fair,
give the first definitive gay character in the MCU, Joe Russo, a chance, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the Russo brothers movie.
I think it was Joe Russo in that movie.
Because I haven't seen any of these. And I know they worked on Community, but they also directed The Winter Soldier, which is a good one.
That's true.
They did You, Me and Dupree. They did Cherry. They did The Grey Man. And there's a movie coming out called The Electric State, which is out this year.
That's based on the Simon Stallenhag books. You know, we talked about Tales from the Loop?
Oh, okay.
That Amazon series?
It's the premise is a girl is approached by a robot looking for a missing brother, and with it, she sets out to find him.
There you go.
That could be the good one. Give him a chance, Mason.
I'm not going to
Again, I haven't seen any of their outside of the MCU movies, except maybe You, Me and Dupree, but I don't know whether that will inform any of my current decision-making.
Which one is that? Is that the Matt
Dillon, Owen Wilson, and maybe Kate Hudson or somebody else?
Okay, sure.
But maybe
great.
not.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you excited for that?
No.
You, Me and Dupree?
I'm not excited. Why would I be excited for that?
God, can you imagine if Dupree came to live with you?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Was he the problem? Was Dupree
the problem? But he just tried his best. Deadline here is that Levy has been given the latest script by Michael Waldron. Though I think he worked on Loki, though sources add that he has not given an answer on whether or not he will take the job. Also, apparently, it's going to have 60-plus MCU characters reprising their roles.
Terrific.
That includes Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Hiddleston, Simu Liu, Karen Gillan. And unlike the first four films, where there's a core group that consisted of Robert Downey Jr., et cetera,
this one's just whatever.
slop. Many of the characters in this film would have equal footing, meaning it would be more of an ensemble feature instead of a handful of characters leading the team. That could be difficult.
Sure, absolutely.
But possible over a 3-hour extravaganza.
Absolutely.
Which it probably would be.
Yeah, I mean, my guess would be Marvel have seen the movie Deadpool 3.
Is that your guess?
I think that's probably my guess.
You think they maybe have been keeping an eye on it?
I think that at this point they've kept an eye on it and they've seen a version of it that is finished or close to finished.
Yeah.
And they're like, this guy's pretty good at this.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Also, you got to think about like Ryan Reynolds' influence on that. Maybe you should get Ryan Reynolds to direct it, is what you're saying. And I don't disagree because he was in the movie Free Guy and my dad's from Star Wars and You, Me and Dupree. Whatever the things that we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But it's apparently unknown who the central villain will be, but it could include multiple antagonists. We talked about this. You can just swap out whoever for whoever.
Yeah, it's
Doctor
fine.
Doom for whatever.
Yeah.
Kang for this guy. That guy for whatever.
Yeah. Maybe the Fantastic Four defeat Galactus, but then there's Bigger Galactus.
Bigger Galactus. Yeah. I'm Bigger Galactus. My skills are the same. But I'm much bigger. Not much bigger. I'm a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger.
You probably can't tell, but believe me, if we were standing next to each other, you'd go, oh, yeah. No, he is a little bit bigger. God, I can't.
It's a shame they defeated original Galactus and sent him into another dimension or whatever, because if we stood next to each other, I'd be bigger.
Even like if we had no shoes on, which I would insist on, actually.
Wait a second, Bigger Galactus. Your dating profile says you're 6'1", but I think you're 5'9".
Nobody's 5'9" on a dating profile. Unless you're 5'7", in which case you're 5'9". Everybody knows that. And no one's 5'11".
Because you matched with this girl who's 5'11", and she's taller than you, Bigger Galactus. It's obvious. She's wearing flats.
I haven't measured myself in a while. Maybe I've shrunk over time.
You think you've shrunk
over time?
Bigger Galactus.
Over time.
Wow.
And this is interesting. It's via Jeff Snyder's Hot Mic podcast. There was
is he the Ian Snyder?
He's the Ian Snyder.
Okay.
One of the rumors this week going around was that Jordan Peele had met with Marvel to be like, what X-Men movie? No, what mystery Marvel movie could I direct?
Oh, okay.
And
he's saying he wanted to do an X-Men.
Well, apparently he met about X-Men, but that fell through. Okay. I would like to see his weird X-Men movie.
Absolutely.
And just have all the edges maybe sanded off it or whatever.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't think Marvel wants to see his X-Men movie.
No. But
you'd hope they would.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about this. Like, I want movies that have a particular vision or a concept or idea.
I mean,
not to say that it won't be that.
It's too late. The horse has left the barn door or whatever.
A Venom horse or a regular horse?
Regular horse.
Can we talk about a Venom horse later?
We could talk about a Venom horse, I guess, if that comes up. But what are the odds? I'm just saying, Jordan Peele, if you're listening, you're not. If you'd said, I'm thinking about integrating AI into this X-Men movie, I think they would have been more amenable to it.
Do you mean as like to aid in the process of filmmaking or within, you're saying you're going to say yes to both, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Or within the movie?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What if the X-Men got trapped in the metaverse?
What if they did?
And fought an evil AI?
They just take the goggles off.
Could take the goggles.
Just take the goggles off.
Yeah. They're too heavy anyway, the goggles.
They are.
Yeah.
Very unpleasant.
Wolverine, take the goggles off. I was going to. Actually, my neck hurts. So I'm going to.
Even a man with a metal skeleton, it's too heavy for him, is it?
Yeah. All I'm saying is he should have done some more buzzwords. He shouldn't have said, I'm going to use my signature flair and style. He should have said, I'm going to integrate AI into the production of this movie. There'll be a cost savings.
Oh, wow.
And we'll fix it all in post. They would have said yes.
Do they care about cost savings? Depends
I don't
on the movie,
know.
I guess.
I don't know. I'm very curious as to whether that is the case.
Here's a question for you. Are you very curious? So you know the Coca-Cola doing these different cans, these Marvel cans.
Yes.
This is not a promotion. But it is to you.
I'm
selling this to you, Mason.
Okay, yes.
Buy this can off me.
Are you asking, is that the Red Hulk or is that the regular
Hulk? Yeah.
That's regular Hulk.
That's what I thought because they're all red, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, that's true.
There's no red Captain America with wings, is there?
That's true.
Yeah, but people would be mad about it if that was the case, don't you think?
Yes.
Also, I don't think these are for, I think we mentioned, no one cares about this, for the new Captain America
They
movie.
may not be,
But I think they're just general Marvel stuff.
The big guys.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, that fell through on the X-Men and Avengers is happening. Avengers
You would
5.
think at this point they would want to bring in a director with a signature style, but I think they're still going, well, this will be revitalizing the MCU, next X-Men movie.
Yeah.
So let's do it in the MCU style. But to me, I would say, why not? Like, the Iron Man, Favreau, brought in his particular set of skills and that set the framework for the MCU going forward. Why not bring in a Jordan Peele and have him set the framework?
I don't think they want that.
I don't think they want that, but they should want that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think also if you're a director like that who you're a marketing tool like in itself and a brand in its, I hate talking like this, but it's true. People know what his movies are and they go to see them.
Yeah.
Or if you're an actor who like brings something like a Glen Powell to a project, would you look at the MCU or just maybe even the DC at this point or whatever and go like, I think this is not the way forward.
Also, if this is true, my question would be, how long was that meeting? Was it like 3 hours of back and forth and here's some plans I have and
you
etc.?
mean like a fight?
Well, yeah.
This is what I think.
Yeah, or was it just 5 minutes and they're like, he's like, I thought of a concept and here it is, and they're like, no, we'd rather go in another direction.
Yeah.
Okay, see you later.
Also,
Bye-bye.
did this happen?
That's what I'm saying. If it did happen, yes. Yeah. We've got no confirmation from Mr. Jordan Peele.
No, let's ask him next time he's on the show.
Okay, great.
Next time?
Yeah, next time.
The next time he's on the show.
People don't know this, but we've interviewed him multiple times and we lost the footage every time.
Yeah. We kept the audio, but we haven't. I just don't think we'll use it.
Nah, don't worry about it. No. We've got to talk about trailers and stuff. And
yeah, exactly. What do we got here, Mason?
I don't know. I'm not looking at your screen.
What do we got here?
Why don't you ever share your screen?
Oh, we could actually, I will talk about this. So I'm just looking at comicbookmovie.com, which is actually the official website of this show.
That's true.
We bought it. Don't ask him about it, but it's true. So he was asked on Threads. So it's
Who's this? Who's asked?
James Gunn.
Oh, James
Sorry,
Gunn.
I haven't prefaced any of this by anything.
No.
This is DCU news.
Okay.
He was asked on
You
Threads.
had a whole conversation in your own head.
I really did. About whether Gal Gadot has been recast, has left the Wonder Woman role. This person says, is it safe to assume that Wonder Woman hasn't been cast yet? Correct? And he said, correct.
Whoa.
Which pretty much, because there was a point where it was like, it looked like that she might continue the role or something, but that's obviously not happening at this point, which I think is a good idea. Clean slate, everybody knew. Also, we can visit that universe later, and they're all dead. They're all dead and dying.
Yeah. And plus, they've probably scanned her, so we can bring her back.
They scanned her, it's fine.
Bring her back for another,
another whatever.
A nightmarish multiversal reveal, I mean, and there's been some recent actors that in recent movies that potentially could be the Wonder Woman role. People have suggested Katie O'Brien from Love Lies Bleeding.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, she'd be great. Yeah.
Others?
Yeah, others. I mean, you could name several.
I can name several.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts. You seen that winning smile?
I have seen that winning smile.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts. I did watch that movie.
Liza Minnelli, anyone?
Oh, yeah, Liza Minnelli. She's great.
She can do it all.
She can do it all.
She can act, she can sing, she can dance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these are all great names.
Yeah. Judy Garland, mother of Liza Minnelli.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. She was great in The Wizard of Oz, I want to say.
That's right, yep.
She didn't come back for the sequel, did she? Return to Oz
I don't
in
believe
1980
she did, no.
something.
No, I don't think she did, no.
Interesting. Yeah, well, yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Mason, this is via Lionsgate. This is a new Hunger Games book. It's called Sunrise on the Reaping.
Okay.
So this is a prequel novel. It's announced by Suzanne Collins, who, of course, wrote all the other Hunger Games books.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, all of those books have been turned into movies, including the recent President Snow's a Good Guy. Oh, no, he's a bad guy.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
But he's got that winning
He's
smile,
had a
doesn't
haircut. He does have a winning
He
smile.
did have a haircut, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. That was a turning point for him.
Yeah.
Something
was up. And they had birds and they heard what you said.
Oh, that's the betrayal birds.
But you have to press the button.
That's right.
The bird would tell you what it was doing. Apparently, it'll take place during these. Do you have something else to say about the bird?
No, I'm just hoping this. Suzanne Collins has said, she won't do another one of these books unless she had something to say. But then, the response to the betrayal birds was so strong in the movie. She's like, this one's going to be all betrayal birds. Actually,
yeah. Apparently, it will take place during the second quarter quell, which is when Haymitch. Relax. You know the lore of this universe, okay?
All right.
I just got to ease you back into it. Which they were the Hamish Abernathy games, 24 years before the Hunger Games, the original Hunger Games. So that's Woody Harrelson's character when he won the Hunger Games.
So the original Hunger Games movies, not the original Hunger Games.
No.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
You got to distinguish between the Hunger Games, the movies, and the Hunger Games.
I don't have to do a goddamn thing, Mason.
I think you said you were going to ease me in, but I'm more confused
no,
than ever.
keep up.
So this is going to have to be a young Hamish.
Yes.
So presumably they're not going to de-age Woody Harrelson, even though they have all that footage from Cheers.
Yeah, that's
so they
right.
could do it if they wanted to.
Yeah, get that guy who plays President Snow. It's fine.
I just make
Old
him
President Snow.
Donald Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland.
Okay, de-age Donald Sutherland, because
why
we have
not?
some young Donald Sutherland footage.
Would love that. Yeah. Variety reports that Francis Lawrence, who's directed every Hunger Games installment since Catching Fire, is in talks to direct, and this will be out in November 2020.
Who's a young Woody Harrelson type?
Matthew McConaughey.
Great point.
Or is he just slightly less bald than Woody Harrelson?
He is. He's distinctly less. He's significantly less bald.
Calm down, all right? I was trying to ease you into it.
Who does
Do you want a young Southern gentleman?
See, this is a picture. These are pictures of young Woody Harrelson that I have saved on my phone
Yeah.
for precisely this occasion. You thought you'd get me without any photos of young Woody Harrelson.
Actors who look like Woody.
Young Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
See, that's a distinct vibe. He's got a strong jaw.
Yeah.
Get another of those kids that was in Bottoms, maybe.
I
Another
found this on
quarterback
Reddit. This is from 3 months ago. This guy made this post that said, apparently I look like young Woody Harrelson.
I guess.
And he does.
Yeah, I guess.
But can he act? That's from Jeffrey B.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. God. I mean, you don't really have to look like anybody, do you?
No, that's true, yeah. Just get a young
What
man.
about Owen Wilson?
He looks like one of the Paul brothers.
Oh, don't say that.
He does, though.
That's a dreadful
one
thing
of them.
to say.
I don't know which is which, but one of them, Jake or
Leon
Paul.
You're going to watch that Mike Tyson fight?
No,
It's on Netflix.
I thought they cancelled it.
Yeah, he had an ulcer. They pushed it to like November or something. Or maybe that's
Jake Paul's going to fight the ulcer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well.
Yeah, should be really good. Can't wait to tune in.
He looks like a guy, though. There's got to be a young guy who looks like him.
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan. Have
done
you
it.
seen the photos from that Billy Zane? Billy Zane's going to be Marlon Brando in
Oh
that
yeah,
biopic.
I thought that was Marlon Brando.
Right? It's
Yeah.
incredible.
God.
I think this is a passion project of Billy Zane's.
Good.
Yeah. He
Bring
took all
Billy
his
Zane back.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless he's done something we don't know about.
Then he's cancelled.
and we never liked
Preemptively
him.
cancelled. We never liked him.
This is
We never liked him, and we knew he was bald. We knew he was bald the whole time. Not fooling us, Billy Zane.
We
With your
knew.
phantom hair, with your Titanic hair. We know. We know. You're not fooling anyone. You're a bad person. Unless you're not. In which case, beloved character actor Billy
Welcome
Zane
back.
should have been a leading man. Should have had more leading roles. I think.
Agreed, I agreed.
Yeah.
Unless not.
Unless he sucks. In
Yeah.
which case, good riddance.
Trailers ahoy. Let's start with
We're steering the ship.
Whoa.
We're making cocktails. We're steering the ship into the trailers.
What cocktail would you have?
I mean, I said GNTs earlier. Probably
Yeah.
have a GNT. That's
Okay,
a nice
but
easy
I
one.
don't think you really
'Cause
want one.
No, but see, no, I might have one right now. I'd have one right now. I got to drive later, but I'd have one right now. I'd have one right now. I'll tell you what. A GNT is good because it's easy for the bartender.
sure,
You
yeah,
know, you don't
yeah.
have to be like, oh, can I have a Caribbean cruiser or whatever? And people are like, what's that? I have to look
I
it
gotta
up.
look at the-
I don't think we have
Got to do
whatever.
a YouTube tutorial.
I've got to put it in a coconut, do I? Well, we don't have any.
Don't have a coconut.
Do you want me to pop down to Coles and get a coconut?
You call this an RSL?
That's right.
Mason.
You're disrespecting the Dickens for not having all the ingredients to a Caribbean cruiser, a drink that I've made up.
Venom: The Last Dance got its trailer, and let me say this: looks fun.
It does, doesn't it?
Will it be good?
Yeah.
Almost certainly not.
I mean, what they've done here is they have tricked us by putting the funnest and best shot right at the end, because that's
Yeah.
all we remember from the trailer
That's
now,
right.
which is of course the Venom symbiote symbioting a horse
That's
to make a
right.
Venom horse. And then it parallels. Remember the scene in the first Venom where he's on a motorbike?
Oh,
and then-
yeah.
and he's springing off at Looney Tunes style
Yeah,
on the
it's
Venom
fun.
symbiote. And this, they're like, what if Venom was on a horse?
What if Venom
It'd
was
be a
on
Venom
a horse? Yeah, exactly. This is directed by Kelly Marcel. She's a screenwriter, but she's also done some directing things, including... Oh, she directed some episodes of The Bill. No, she was in The Bill.
What?
Wow.
She was in The Bill.
She was in 5 episodes of The Bill in various roles.
various
This
roles.
is her first
I
direct-
loved Constable various roles.
Me too. So she's written Saving Mr. Banks, 50 Shades of Grey, Venom, Venom 2, Venom 3, but this is her first directing movie.
Okay.
So I don't know what
This is a bit of a departure from Mr. Andy Serkis, who directed the last one, which I didn't think was very good.
I didn't think it was great either. I preferred the first one.
Had a young Woody Harrelson in it.
Did have a young Woody Harrelson. Oh, he was in both of them. First Venom and second Venom.
Oh, he was, wasn't
he?
he?
His Sideshow Bob hair.
That's right. I
first
forgot
one.
about that. Okay.
Yeah. So this time, what's the story? The Venoms are coming.
They were always they're
coming back.
Okay.
They're on that asteroid or something.
Oh yeah.
But this is different though. There's a bigger Venom coming.
There was a bigger Venom in all of them.
No, this one's
I guess
much
Carnage
bigger.
was smaller.
You could stand them next to each other and you could probably tell that.
But this one also it seems to have all sorts of flora and fauna from the Venom
Yes,
planet,
that's right,
I think,
yeah.
You know, so that's a bit of fun. That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And they're showing them in daylight, which is nice.
That's right, yeah.
But I appreciate it. We see, you know, Eddie and the Venom symbiote seem to be working together.
Yeah, they're having a good time.
Eddie's giving the Venom symbiote plenty of people to
Eat.
decapitate. Yeah.
There is a moment where you see him just decapitate 3 dudes.
Yeah, right. Mhm.
Yeah. Do you think that this is not going to be R-rated though, is it? Surely not.
You get 3 decapitations in a PG-13.
And they're just going to give it away in the
straight away.
trailer.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair enough. When's this out? October 25th. Yeah, I mean, also
Continuity buffs.
wise, all right?
I knew you were going with this. Some continuity
We have to
buffs
bring
are
it
like
up.
continuity buffs are like, this is all over the place. This is inexplicable. I don't think they're going to explain this in the movie at all. They've lost the plot over here.
You don't think that they've absolutely fucked this up by accident? Because
They might have. I mean, it is Sony, so
They could take it out.
yeah. So people may or may not remember.
I remember.
Although I can't remember what movie. Is this in Spider-Man No Way Home?
Don't do this.
Okay.
Yes. At the end, it's a post-credits, yes.
Eddie Brock Venom
Yep.
briefly appears in the MCU because he's not the Venom movies are not set in the MCU. They're set in this vague, nebulous Sony.
No Spider-Man.
No
universe.
Spider-Man. Tom Hardy was saying there is a Spider-Man in this universe.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't get up to much though, does he?
Well,
'Cause
maybe-
he's not in any of this.
Maybe he's a
not-
boy.
Maybe he's a boy. Yeah.
Maybe he's a
Oh,
boy.
yeah, maybe he's not born yet. Maybe he's that baby boy that we saw in Madam Web.
He could
maybe
be.
that's in a separate universe, though.
Well, Morbius appears to be in the Venom universe, maybe. Also.
Maybe.
Anyway, you were saying. You're
So-
explaining Sony continuity.
I was explaining Sony continuity. So in one of so Eddie Brock is transported magically or scientifically from his Sony universe to the MCU universe,
to a bar. That happens at the end of one of his movies, maybe?
Maybe it's Venom 2. It might be Venom 2. But then he spends the entirety of Spider-Man No Way Home in that bar, right?
Like having the bartender explain all the people in it, in the universe.
And as Eddie gets increasingly drunk, and then whatever force took him to the MCU, I assume the portals, even though there's no portal where he is, he's snapped in and out.
No, because remember, they do snap in and out. They just kind of phase in and out.
Yeah.
They don't use portals.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Terrific. Then the continuity checks out.
Yeah.
This is flawless. This is bulletproof
going
continuity.
well so far.
And then he goes back to his own universe, but he leaves behind a little snippet of symbiote.
Venom juice.
A little venom juice on the bar.
And you think that's going to get on Spider-Man.
And it's going to get on Spider-Man. He's going to become Venom Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That classic character, Venom Spider-Man.
Love it.
But then in this trailer, we see Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, who is Baron Mordo in the MCU, but he is just a different guy in this, maybe an FBI agent or something, a policeman. He finds that in the Sony
He goes,
universe.
"What's this?
What's this?" I mean, it could be different goo.
Yeah, he could have been transported back to the same bar.
This is the Venom Gooniverse.
But he could be in the same bar in the different universe with the same bartender.
Because the
it's
bartender
same
was the
bartender
same,
from Ted Lasso.
but with
yeah.
different haircuts.
Maybe.
I think he does have different haircuts.
Well, then it's the different guy then, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So Chiwetel Ejiofor is a military soldier who is tracking Brock and Venom and trying to capture the symbiote.
Terrific.
Juno Temple is a scientist tracking Brock and Venom.
Nice.
Reese Ifans is in this. Who also played the lizard.
He did play the
But he's
lizard.
not playing the lizard in
He's
this.
a different
it
guy,
seems.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So terrific.
So, yeah, I think they could just cut this scene. They also had, like, a picture of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in the Morbius trailer.
And that's just gone.
They just got rid of that.
Yeah, so who knows?
Also, I got to tell you, at this point, we're this far in, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
No, it doesn't. It's like the X-Men timeline. It's the X-Men movie timeline. Nobody
knows.
They just know you have a vague recollection of what happened last time, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Also, as if I remember correctly, this in the comic book continuity, the symbiotes, they all have like a collective unconscious, and it goes through dimensions. So
yeah, and they've done a bit of that in the movies, or hinted at it at least. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because if one of them knows who Spider-Man is, then they all know who Spider-Man is.
Something
I
like
think
that,
that's
yeah.
the idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I love that.
Anyway, very excited for Venom Horse.
That Venom horse bit does look good. Is Michelle
Monaghan.
No, what the hell's her name?
Obama.
Yeah, is Michelle Obama in this?
Michelle Obama's not in this. Michelle, she's the late...
Michelle Yeoh. That's it.
No, it's not Michelle
Got it.
Yeoh.
I already nailed it.
No, although
Williams.
Michelle Yeoh... Yeah, Michelle Williams.
Yeah. Is Anne Wenning? Is she returning as Anne Wenning?
I don't know.
Is she returning as her character from Dawson's Creek who died at the end of Dawson's Creek?
She's returning as Anne #winning. She had a bad breakup from Eddie Brock and she's returned. She's renamed herself after Charlie Sheen's famous hashtag. #winning.
God, remember that?
Yeah, of course I do. Why would I say it if I didn't remember it? You think I've just came off the top of my head? I've thought, what if Charlie Sheen had a
Mason,
hashtag?
you've got such a mind that it's very possible that you created
true.
that.
I do have a beautiful mind, which Michelle Williams might have been in.
No, I think that was...
I'm thinking of Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, but I think that was Black Hair.
Michelle Monaghan. Michelle Obama.
Heroin movie. What the hell's her name? She's currently in Dark Matter, the TV show.
Oh, Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah,
Great.
I was thinking of that.
You were. Anyways, let's move it along.
Okay.
Venom looks good. Let's say it here. It looks fun.
Nice.
It could be fun. I never really liked them, but it could be fun.
We need to start saying things that will actually get put on the posters. You know what I mean? We don't do that.
This could be fun.
This could be fun. There we go. That's perfect. We'll say it in unison. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
This could be fun.
There we go. James and Maso, the Weekly Planet podcast. We wanted to, because we need to say, because you know,
we want people back in the cinemas.
They do a bunch of trailers for stuff, and usually by like the third trailer, there's like, ain't it cool news? Said this is cool, ain't it? Yeah, you know, they said, but we need to get on top of that. We need to start.
Agreed.
Even if we haven't seen it, we got to get in there because that's all they need for these trailers, right? They just need somebody to say this could be fun.
Some guy said whatever.
It's got to zoom in on it on the blur, you know. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Ha! James and Maso.
This looks so much fun. We did a big chuck. You know? Right? That's got to be in the third one, you know? It's got to say Venom 3 final trailer. This could be fun. Blah. You know?
The Killer's Game has a trailer.
Okay, so this is Dave Bautista. He plays a contract killer of some kind. He's the best there is.
Yeah.
He doesn't have little glasses.
No, but he needs the glasses.
But that proves his range.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's true. Yeah, actually, yeah. So he thinks he's dying. He thinks he's got the cancer.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
And so he puts a contract on himself for some reason.
Yeah,
maybe insurance purposes. I can't remember.
Yeah, he wants to go in a cool way, maybe.
But then it turns out those doctors, this crazy healthcare system, they've switched. They've switched his results. He's actually fine.
Yes.
But now he can't cancel the contract, so he's out to kill him.
He's got to John Wick everybody.
To John Wick everybody. Shades of John Wick in the sense that they're clearly not using real guns.
Yeah, okay.
And they've put.
You want him to use real guns, do you?
No, but I think.
Is that what you want?
The John Wick movies.
You think this guy would know better?
I'm saying the John Wick movies are way better at. I don't know what it is, but they
figured it out.
It doesn't look like anybody's firing a real gun in this trailer.
Okay,
it
gotcha.
looks very much like everybody's miming it, which is fine.
Well, as someone who watched this on his phone, let me tell you, I didn't notice at all.
Okay, terrific.
Let me tell you that.
Okay, terrific stuff. But anyway, this is reteaming Dave Bautista and Paul McClemontiff, both from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise.
Right.
That's a bit of fun.
Now, the director of this, he's done a lot of second unit directing, including some Fast and Furious movies and various. He also on Roadhouse 2, and he's a stuntman. He's been in so many stunts. Oh, he's in Bloodshot 2020.
Whoa.
Incredible. But the last movie he directed, the only one other than this, is Day Shift, which was the Jamie Foxx vampire hunting movie.
Right, okay.
Which is actually a bit of fun if you've ever seen that. And it's got some good
I haven't seen it, but I do like a bit of fun.
Action moments in it. So if you want he's a pool cleaner by day, but he's actually a vampire hunter.
Okay, right. Yeah, I should get to that.
Yeah, it's good.
There's a lot of good stuff on Netflix, if you ask me.
There's two things. We know that.
Well, there's Extraction 1 and 2. We'll talk about one today, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Umbrella Academy, we didn't talk about this, but the Umbrella Academy is getting a 4th season. The trailer came out for that.
God. Yeah. And they're actually going to finish it.
I was going to say congratulations to the cast and crew of the Umbrella Academy and Gerard Way for actually getting 4 seasons of anything on Netflix.
It's actually incredible. Yeah.
Clearly, I've said this before.
Somebody must like it there.
I think somebody at Netflix really likes. What's his band? Is it My Chemical Romance?
Okay.
But
he doesn't want another album. He wants him to.
He wants him to keep making
TV.
this. Yeah, I think that's the way it must go sometimes. Clearly somebody went, I loved your band. Let's give you 4 seasons of this. It's a good show.
I agree.
Very much. But
it feels like something they would have cancelled 2 seasons ago, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good on it. Anyway, the killer's game, so he has to survive, etc. Because now he's got something to live for because he's not dying. He also remember
My Chemical Romance. I was right.
Yes, remember because in that movie he did where he had to fight all the zombies in Vegas. He also needed glasses.
That's true.
Is this the thing that he's doing?
Maybe.
Remember when he was Blade Runner and he had little glasses in that? Is this what you're saying? You'd like that he wears little glasses?
Of course I am. It shows his range.
Yeah. Are they helpful though? If you got little tiny little glasses, like you're looking around, you can't see much, but you look straight ahead. You know what I mean?
Maybe he wants a role as like a watchmaker or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He wants to Daniel
You
Day-Lewis.
don't think he could just do that at this point? Just be like, I want to be a watchmaker in this, and they'd be like, all right.
I think he wants to make it happen organically.
Okay. Just force it.
Can I be a watchmaker? You can be a watchmaker that's also a hitman. But I just want to be looking at little gears.
Yeah.
I want to be looking at little gears under a visor.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that would be fun. I also got a trailer for Alien Romulus.
That's right.
The full trailer. We had a teaser a while back. I love the look of this.
Yep.
I am excited. Should I be? Maybe.
I think so.
Fede Alvarez, who directed
we go.
Don't Breathe, and he also did the Evil Dead reboot in 2013, which is quite
So
good.
not Evil Dead Rise, but the one
Yeah.
that came before that.
Both are good.
Sure.
Yeah. He also did The Girl in the Spider Web, maybe? I don't know. Apparently.
I saw that one.
Did you?
I think.
Which one's that? Because they did. There's some in different continuity or
there's
something.
there's a Fincher one, and everybody's like, "Oh, I love the Fincher one," and I'm like, "That one's fine," but I like the most recent one that had it had our friend of the show, a guy we've never met,
Daniel Craig.
No, we've never interacted with him at all, but we like him and stuff. Lakeith Stanfield's in it.
Oh, he is a friend of the show.
He's friend of the show, Lakeith Stanfield, because he's cool and he's a good actor, and we like him, so he's our friend.
That's true. Claire Foy's in that one.
Yes,
I haven't seen this
I
one.
quite like that one.
Is that a sequel to the other one? Sort of.
It is,
Is it
but
the
it's
second
it
book?
is- yeah, it's like the fourth book or something like that. It's
It's a soft reboot and sequel to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah,
There you go, apparently.
so if I remember correctly, so Stieg Larsson only released a couple before he died, so a lot
Okay.
of it is like, I think it's maybe just like best guess is
It's
what
only
he
got
would do.
38% on Rotten Tomatoes, but do you think that's because of what came before and
I
whatever?
think it's a Hellboy reboot situation.
Where actually the Hellboy reboot's actually fine.
I think it was fine and good, the Hellboy reboot, but it wasn't Guillermo del Toro. So people were like, boo, this sucks. I liked it. I liked how grubby it was.
Yeah.
I liked how he hit a big giant in the head with a brick or whatever.
That was cool.
It was fun.
I didn't like at the end where his dad was a weird ghost. It didn't
I
look
like
good.
that.
Didn't look good. Anyway, there's also it's showing like the body horror of the Alien franchise. There's
Oh,
a
yeah, we're
moment-
talking about Alien.
Oh
I
yeah,
forgot.
it's got a chest burst and she's shining like a light through her chest, and you can see it like
it's like when you put a light on your thumb.
yeah, it's exactly
and you can
like
see
that.
through your thumb.
Yeah, you were gonna do it then, but you decided not to.
I'll do it.
You didn't have to do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh, actually,
Call me a coward.
We are filming this one, aren't we? So people. Can everybody see that?
My thumb.
You look like E.T.
I know, right?
Yeah, a dumbass.
Thumb home.
I mean, you look like E.T. before you put your
I
bloody
know, right?
thumb on it. I bloody got him. I bloody got him. This
Yeah, you
guy.
got me. It's true. You got me. It's true.
There's a moment also where you see the face hugger actor like try to make its way into somebody's mouth.
Yeah, right.
Very unpleasant.
Bit yuck.
Bit yuck. So this is a younger cast.
Uh-huh.
And it's going to be
I would simply discover a food they didn't like, and I would put it in my mouth.
like what? Maybe a hot mustard?
My first thought was Subway meatballs. Fill my mouth with Subway meatballs.
Do you think they
with the
wouldn't
marinara
like,
sauce?
Do you think they wouldn't like
I think they'd be like, yuck. This is not fit for alien consumption. I'd be like, well, I love them. So whatever. Whatever you reckon, alien facehugger.
So it's set between Alien and Aliens.
Okay.
And it's young space colonists who are scavenging a derelict space station. It looks as if they've been maybe experimenting in there with the alien stuff because there's like a rack of like
That's right. Lamb.
You put it in your mouth and they don't like
They
that.
don't like it.
Yeah. There's like a row of face huggers and I think there might be
I'd get rid of them personally.
I agree. I think this is one of those we're engineering these. This is a bio weapon situation,
right.
etc.
Do you think this is going to result in another change to the alien continuity?
It might get rid of some Prometheus shit.
Yeah, right.
We talked about this, right?
How do you feel? What is your preferred origin story for the aliens generally?
That they're an ancient like species or whatever.
So like a naturally evolved species.
Yeah, or that aliens made them and not that Fassbender did it.
Yeah, right.
In a cave.
Because years and years ago, I had like it was called. Do you remember when technical manuals were really big?
Oh,
they
yeah.
did like a Star Trek technical manual, a Star Wars technical manual.
Yes.
And they did one for the aliens, and it was all the colonial marine tech, but also like a bunch of alien biology
You
stuff.
love this
I
shit.
love that sort of stuff, and
Yeah.
in that book, it would basically was these things have clearly been genetically engineered by someone as like a weapon system, but we don't know who and we don't know why.
I like that.
That and I quite like that. I also like the idea that David did it, the Fassbender in that movie, because it's
because he sucks.
Yeah, but I like the idea that humans created this perfect, this android being, and then he hates humanity so much that he created it.
I don't hate that, but I do hate that he did it the way that it played out in that movie.
Oh yeah, okay, fair
That's
enough.
what I hate.
Yeah, but I also like the idea that we've talked about Mad Max recently, how it's all campfire stories, and maybe none of it happened the way it happened, or this idea.
That movie bombed though, so don't talk about it.
I shouldn't talk about it.
Move on.
I should move on, shouldn't I?
There's a girl in it. Move on.
I thought I had actually to divert again, is that, we talked about how, like, why'd they call her Furiosa? Well, maybe nobody knows her name in the real, like, maybe her name wasn't originally Furiosa.
Yeah.
But people call her Furiosa. Like,
I don't understand why people think that was like a new thing. They're like, why would they make this instead of a Mad Max movie? They were going to make it like 10 plus years ago. This movie has been in the works for like at least 20 years. But anyway, sorry, go on.
But speaking of campfire stories, I also like the idea that all the alien movies maybe are just the best guess as to why these creatures are actually unknowable. We don't know why this has happened. I'd rather not.
And like, maybe every couple of movies someone goes, well, I think it's this. And everyone else goes, maybe.
Maybe. Mate, we're actually busy right now because aliens are trying to kill us.
I don't know if you've noticed.
I don't know if you've noticed, but initially we thought they were just these little crab creatures, and that was difficult enough. But now they're really big.
Remember that one burst out and it was like, okay, but it's small.
Yeah.
It's small at least.
And then that was so freaking big. And we're like,
big.
At least that thing's only got one mouth.
Yeah.
But actually it's got two mouths.
At least it's got normal blood.
Yeah. It doesn't, though.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm in the alien subreddit. I like to peruse around. And one of the questions that somebody asked was like, what do they smell like?
Okay.
And I always imagine it like as a chemical kind of acidic.
Petrol.
Yeah. Like almost like a biomechanism.
Yeah, I would never have, I've never thought about it, but.
Or they'd smell like nothing because you'd know where they were.
Oh, yeah. Now, they got to smell of something.
Well, yeah.
If they're acidic.
If they're acidic, they'd be like I feel like a bleach or a.
Yeah, I don't think they smell of anything natural.
Solvent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people are going to say poop, but I don't think that's true.
I don't think they smell like poop.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I saw this as well. So people made the connection that Tom Holland's cherry.
Oh, yeah.
The poster for that and also the poster for Alien Romulus looks like it got him.
I think they smell of Ajax spray and wipe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one? Like a scented one or like the brutal
The one where they're like, this is scent free, but it is, you can smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It smells like piss. Piss and poop.
Are you filling your Ajax spray and wipe bottles with piss?
Not mine.
Okay.
Not my bottles and not my piss.
Okay, great. Good.
Alien Romulus, when's that out? I think it's August. Let me just double check that. Yeah.
But anyway, suitably moody and looks pretty. I mean, are they
apparently a bit of Alien and Aliens?
See, there we go. I think but is that how you get these movies made now?
Yeah.
You go, okay, well, it's set in between Alien and Aliens, and they're like, good so far. Existing IP set between the good ones.
Yep.
And it's a bit of both. Okay, well, that's perfect. Check.
What are the good Alien movies? Which are the ones you enjoy? Obviously,
Alien,
the first two.
Alien, first two.
The third one, how do you feel? I think it's okay.
I think that's getting a resurgence now.
Yeah.
It's getting a critical reappraisal.
It's not great.
Again, it's a Fincher movie.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of. I have never loved
it. It's amazing he did that and then continued. Like, you'd think that would kill his career.
Oh,
like, Hollywood wouldn't let him back in after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 is like
4 is the clone one, right?
Yeah.
Clone Ripley.
That's a similar thing in like they reverse engineer from like Ripley's blood or something.
Yeah. That, of course, has the famous
basketball
Sigourney
shot.
Reba.
Sigourney rebound.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you.
Oh.
We're filming this, aren't we, when I said that?
That's exactly right.
Because I actually made that shot.
I was going to say, and you did a joke, so that's better than Sigourney Reba bound. But Sigourney Weaver does that over the head basketball shot. Yeah. But the ball goes out of frame.
Yeah.
Which is very upsetting.
I know, so it doesn't
count even.
Doesn't count.
This might be a lie. Because Ron Perlman of Hellboy fame said that
he was shocked.
He was shocked. And they had to cut early because he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, but maybe they all faked it.
AVPs are fine. First one I think is better. You like the second one. I want to like Prometheus because I just love the concept of it.
Yeah.
But it's too stupid a movie.
Yep.
Like it's high concept, but it's stupid, and that's what annoys me about it.
People always say, because when the spaceship is crashing and it's a big crescent, and we always say,
Run
just
to the side or whatever,
move to the side. People go, oh, actually, they probably weren't thinking about that. But I think that is representative of the movie as a whole.
Yeah,
I
mean, the guy who does maps the cave system gets lost, etc. Touching a snake, then you see an alien snake, and you go, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I can touch
that.
this.
Yeah, I'll put my face next to it.
There's never been an alien.
Yeah, and I quite like Covenant. This. Also, Danny McBride is in Prometheus, right?
He's in Covenant.
Is he? Well, then I like Covenant even more.
Covenant's also stupid, but for different reasons. Covenant also is just Alien, and then it turns into Aliens at the end.
Correct.
They just changed the whole thing.
They followed the formula,
Yeah. So I think, and Isolation's pretty good.
So far, the Alien track record is okay. So this is also on track to be okay.
Yeah, I hope it's better than okay.
Yeah.
I hope it's like some of the Predator sequels, including Predators, which I like. But we're getting a Predator film from Dan Trachtenberg, who did Prey, which went straight to Hulu or Disney Plus, called Badlands.
Oh, yeah.
And it's apparently Elle Fanning is in negotiations to star.
What are the Fannings?
It's
those little girls.
They're women now, Mason.
Yes.
She was in The Great, if you've ever seen that.
I have seen The Great.
I watched the first season. I really liked it.
Yeah.
But
Dakota Fanning's still a little girl, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. She's got the Jack disease, but in reverse.
Wow.
She's got the Benjamin Button disease, but in reverse, which is normal.
Yeah.
But then she got the Jack disease, and I don't know where she's at now. She got bitten by both Jack and Benjamin Button.
Oh, no!
Yeah, and Blade.
Wow.
So we're just going to see what happens.
Okay. I hope she's doing well.
She seems fine.
Okay, great.
Apparently it's set in the near future. So it's not a sequel to Prey, but there is a sequel to Prey in early development with Amber Midthunder attached to return. Okay. I'm surprised they didn't go straight to that, to be honest.
Yeah.
And they're doing this.
Yeah, right.
How do you feel about Predator near future?
I like it.
They're all
Wasn't Predator
sort of
2,
the near
Predator
future.
2 was technically in the near future, I think, when it came out.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's in the past.
It's in the past now. It already happened, mate. Don't worry about it.
But I think it was like, this is 1995.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, maybe that's the only one set in the near future. Yeah. So
we've had some Predator games set in the near future.
Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, sure. But I like Dan Trachtenberg. He did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I quite liked.
Yep, same.
So yeah, let's see this. I know people complain about in the Predator universe, they did this for every movie, but well, a girl couldn't fight the Predator. The idea of the Predator is, if you've ever seen any of the Predator movies, including
Yes.
the first one,
Yeah.
the most muscular man in the world can't one-to-one a Predator.
Yeah.
The point is that the Predator is better and bigger than everybody.
So you got to be smart.
Yeah, you got to be smart.
You got to be smart.
You got to be wicked smart.
Oh.
Predator fights
Goodwill Hunting.
Goodwill Hunting and his mates in a bar. What do you think?
Goodwill Hunting fights the Always Sunny cast.
That would be good. Anyway, looking forward to it. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Should we move it along?
Yeah, let's move it along. Let's get into it.
We're finally capping off the Hitman trilogy. We had Hitman 2007. We had Hitman Agent 47 from 2015.
Here's what
and now we've got Hit Space Man.
That's right.
2024.
And you might be like, is it set in space? No, it's set in the suburbs.
It is set in the suburbs, isn't it? And you might be like, how many shootouts does it have?
Zero.
None.
No
Zero
shootouts.
Zero shootouts.
Zero shootouts. It's not that kind of movie.
It's really not.
And why would it be? For it is directed by Mr. Richard Linklater.
That's right.
He's all about the suburbs.
He is. You might know him from Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Other things?
Yeah, he's done all the Before movies, as in Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight.
Oh, yeah.
Just a bunch of stuff. He, of course, is the he's the inspiration for Kevin Smith. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah, because he did Slacker.
He did the movie Slacker, which is probably not the earliest, but one of the very early kind of 1990, 1991 kind of no budget.
Just bumming about.
Just a series of just meeting a bunch of weirdos in suburbia. And this is kind of that.
It is. He did Dazed and Confused, Mason.
You did mention that, James.
He did Everybody Wants Some.
That's true.
Which I think also had Glen Powell in it as well, I believe.
Here's a little departure. He did School of Rock.
Oh, yeah, he did do School of Rock, yeah. I haven't seen Bernie. You seen Bernie?
I haven't seen Bernie.
You seen Bernie Sanders?
Yes.
And? Is he bald?
No.
He's not bald.
He's balding.
Bernie Sanders?
Yes.
I would say he's bald.
Okay. Okay.
I'd say it's past the point.
Okay. All right. Great.
So there you go.
Tell you who's not bald, Glen Powell.
My God, is he not? So Mason, this went straight to Netflix after premiering at the Venice Film Festival in 2023.
And it's had a small theatrical release, although not in Australia.
I think so. They had to. They want to do that so it can get some awards, maybe. Netflix acquired it at TIFF for $20 million, which is good because it was made for $8 million. So as you mentioned, it had a one week US cinema release leading up. I don't think it was extensive. It's made apparently $1 million at the cinema in total. But
that's 1/8 of its production budget.
I agree.
Wait, did you say 18? 8.
It was made for 8, and it made 1.
Wow, flop.
Yeah, but
once you factor in marketing costs, that's a $16 million movie.
Netflix gave them $20 million, so they did all right out of this in the end. It's a shame that this didn't get a proper cinema release.
Because it feels like a real movie.
It feels like a movie. I'm watching this. It feels real. Mason, what do you think the story was?
Oh, come on, mate.
Yeah, come on.
All right, so I believe this is based on a real
It's a real dude who died in 2020,
who was a man.
Yes.
Who was a professor at a college.
Yep.
Who had a side gig where he pretended to be a hitman for the police in various undercover
sting
roles.
Operations.
Who would meet up with people who wanted to kill usually their spouse.
Yep.
And then he would get him to admit to it and give him money to do the deed.
Yep.
And then they'd get arrested.
And sometimes he'd take on slightly different personas to do it.
Like Tilda Swinton.
Yes.
Sometimes he's just Tilda Swinton.
Sometimes he's Tilda Swinton. But in this one, they really take that to the extreme.
Yes.
So Glen Powell is like this boring button-down professor kind of dude.
He's tucking in his short-sleeve shirt into his big slacks.
Or
his jorts.
I couldn't believe he could pull anything off in this bloody universe. Am I right, Mason? And so, he's one of the best parts of this movie is you see a montage of him trying different personas because it's a job that he's not initially doing. He's doing like surveillance and research.
Can I stop you there, James?
Sure.
You've said one of the best parts, but I would suspect some people would say it's a little bit disingenuous that you think he's going to spend the entire movie as these characters.
Oh, no.
When real, because I think a lot of the marketing suggests that he's walking around in every scene in a different leather coat or a big wig or, assorted neck tattoos, when that's really just a small aspect of this. If you're expecting, I was going to say if you're expecting the Master of Disguise, you were kind of going to get the Master of Disguise because that's kind of what that movie was.
Yeah.
But,
You've seen that movie?
I've seen most of it. You gotta know for science. If you're expecting it's going to be a kind of a quick change disguise movie, it's not that.
No, not at all.
It is very much more.
It's
a sexy relationship movie. It is about suburbia to some degree. I think like that Linklater theme is there.
There is more of a reality to it than it is. It is like a ridiculous concept, which is sort of real. But there is a reality in terms of like the consequences of things and how much you can get away with and whatever. It's sort of the real world.
Yeah. What's interesting about this movie, I think, and how it sort of it Linklaters to Linklater's previous work.
Go on.
Is that it's about how like everybody thinks that they can just buy their way out of everything. Like if you live in the suburbs, it's like
everything has a price.
Everything has a price, and it's like I don't like my wife. I guess I could get her killed.
Yeah,
I could have her killed.
And by the
just
time,
like in the movies, you know,
and the way that they talk about it, by the time they meet that person, to organize the hit,
they've
already decided that they're going to do this. So they just assume that this is a thing that can be, like anything else, can be purchased and and you just can get away with it.
Yeah,
just because like the idea also in this that. They say that there are no hitmen.
Right.
And that cannot be true, right? We know that's not true. But you can't like call a hitman and they'll come and meet you.
But I think, there exists professional killers, but they're all in the service of the organized crime.
Yeah, there's not like Uber for hitmen.
Yeah. They all work for the mafia or the Yakuza or something like that.
And they kill other gang leaders and whatever.
And they exist within a very specific society of that they're not available to the public. You can't call up a guy and be like, "Can you?"
Yeah.
Like almost every like when you see that in real life, it's almost always a police sting operation, or it's just some guy who's like, "Yeah, I'll kill somebody for $5,000." Like it's their first time,
and then they immediately fold on the person.
Yeah, exactly.
When
That's
they get
right.
caught.
Yeah. So this character who's based on a real guy is sort of feeding into this fantasy that you can purchase the death of somebody you don't like anymore.
Because I'd seen the first trailer and my initial impression that was he was taking on these different personas, and then I'd heard that, it's actually more of this kind of love story. And that's as much as I knew going in.
Uh-huh.
So when they kind of pivoted away from him doing these different personas, it didn't bother me because I think also the love story in this is so strong that it's okay that the other stuff kind of falls away.
Yeah, so Gary, Glen Powell's character Gary, he has
Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson, based on the real Gary Johnson.
Yep.
He like you said, he starts out in surveillance, and then the normal undercover guy is he's under investigation for various crimes, and so they bring in Gary. He has to pretend to be a hitman, and so he gets quite good at this and adopting different personas, and etc. And then he encounters a fiery lady who wants to have her husband killed.
Yeah.
And he convinces her not to do that.
Yeah, which he doesn't normally do.
No, right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that it very much has that.
You'd think you'd mostly do that.
What? Tell
if
people
I was
not
in that
to do it.
position, I'd be like, maybe don't.
Maybe he did.
As a professional killer, maybe don't.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's
I'm
tricky.
a cop. Don't do it.
Don't do this. You will get arrested.
I mean, they
I'm
talk
telling
about some of the people, and some are based on real people that he goes and visits. Like one kid wants his parents killed, and he pays with video games. And that was a real thing that happened. I watched after this. I watched a bunch of behind the scenes stuff, and this guy has this fascinating life. And also, what's really interesting is that they really wanted to nail the the chemistry and like the sexual tension between the two leads, which is something that movies lately are not doing.
Now you I haven't seen Anyone But You, which is the previous kind of big Glen Powell movie, and it's Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeney.
That's more rom-com, and this is more intentionally like out of sight.
Right.
It's like that kind of thing, which they're going for.
It's out of sight.
It is
out of sight.
Yeah, and you feel that like when they first sit down together.
Which one's sexier though?
I haven't seen Out of Sight in
No, but what's the better
30
chemistry?
years.
Anyone But You or this?
I think this.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and I liked Anyone With You, but it's a different kind of thing. That one's there's a slight misunderstanding, and then they hate each other, and it's
of course,
it's a wacky contrivance and whatever. I like Anyone But You, but I think this is a more convincing, sexier love story, which has been missing in movies. So it's interesting that they didn't just go, oh, who are two charismatic stars, let's put them together, which I think they often do in movies, and people are expected to go along with it, where they really wanted to cast and test the chemistry of a whole bunch of different people to make sure that, this is the core element of the film, and you can't just cross your fingers and hope that it works.
Yeah. So this is Glen Powell and Adria Arjona.
People might know her from Morbius.
Oh, yeah.
No, is she in Morbius? I don't know.
Is she the other Dr. Morbius?
Maybe. No,
that cannot be correct.
She is in
She is in Morbius.
Is she?
She's the doctor. She's the other doctor. She's like, stop doing Morbius stuff on yourself, Morbius.
Stop doing Morbius. She was also in...
Maybe I'll be a vampire in the sequel, she says. And she is.
Yeah, she is. She's in Andor, by the way. She's great in Andor.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Those two together, great. Love all of that. Also, apparently one of the roads they were going to take initially... Also... Richard Linklater read this article from like 2001 based on this guy, and then Glen Powell read it like 10 years later and rang him and was like, hey, did you hear about this thing? And he's like, I've been thinking about this. You were at school when I read that article.
You've got to get pretty up pretty early in the morning to get what I know.
I'll read all the newspapers.
Old Dickie Linklater. What do you think, you're Dickie Link earlier? Yeah. Well, you're not. You're even later.
Yeah.
You're Dickie even later.
He'd Dick linked it.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they were trying to work out, like, what is this story? And at one point it was going to be like a femme fatale where she was like playing him as well.
Right,
Where I think what is interesting about it is it's not so much about, like, she's this like Black Widow kind of character, whereas she's, you want them to kind of get away with this.
Yeah.
And we'd have to get into more spoilers about how this works.
Then what's interesting, I think, is that, and maybe I'll have to do a rewatch to figure this out, they're not great people.
No.
Nobody is really.
No.
Like,
they're probably not even they're not the nicest people in this movie.
I guess the question would be, of course, is like, what the moral quandary for me is like.
Oh, this is where it becomes fictionalized from the real guy.
Yeah, the real guy.
He probably didn't do this.
Probably did. Well, that's the thing. Like, what's is this entrapment? What's the ethical quandary of like meeting these people and going, pretending you're a professional killer and being like, yes, this is a service I provide.
Yeah.
I can make it this simple kind of thing.
Yes.
And then taking their money and then getting them arrested. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
And sort of, and I guess upon a rewatch, I want to watch this movie again and go, was he always this kind of morally grey?
Yeah.
Like, or does it develop over the course of his?
I think
is he turned into this by taking on these roles, kind of thing?
I mean, a big part of it is that like he is taking on these different roles, and that his character, like his personality, is changes.
Yeah.
And he talks about how that like you can really be whoever you want. You just kind of lean into the kind of person you want to be.
Yeah, and when he's sort of thrown into it initially, it seems like he's a natural at this.
Yeah.
Like he's so good at coming up with little details about how he disposes of a body and how he gets away with it and that sort of stuff.
Accents and so forth. Well, I guess he's just very intelligent. But I think also like his moral ambiguity for both of them only comes down to when it's those two.
Yeah, right.
But everything else around them, they're model citizens.
Yeah, right.
But when they're together, they back each other up, right?
That's right.
That's how
Which is
I read
beautiful,
it.
I think.
I think so, yeah.
It's kind of, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
You know, I initially I'm like, oh, yeah, and it remains this kind of moral quandary there. But I'm like, oh, that is quite nice.
Yeah.
That they're, the situation they get into. And it actually takes quite a while.
It does, yeah.
It's a 2-hour movie, and I think we're probably over an hour in before it goes from kind of this sting procedural to the major kind of dramatic thrust of this. Like it does take its time.
Yeah.
But once you're into it, I'm like, oh yeah, you want to see that. Yeah, it's fun that you want to see these guys succeed and get through the dramatic situation they're in.
Also, I think the sex scenes are pretty good.
Nice.
Nice. But I just mean like I feel like a lot of sex scenes in movies now, they don't do them at all, or they feel like superfluous. And I think also it's probably because everybody's brain has been like poisoned by pornography, so they have no interest in like sex scenes in movies. Mm-hmm. Whereas in this, they've clearly built up the chemistry between the characters.
Yeah.
Whereas, it's like, it's not just like, okay, like whatever, you know? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what your sex life is like, James. Oh, whatever.
No, I mean like, when you'd see like a sex scene in a movie and it's just like, all right, it just feels...
I guess they've been in some regular scenes already, so we may as well.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas this, it's kind of integral to, like, his character, because, like, the first time they have sex, like, they do have this amazing chemistry, but he's not really being himself. He's kind of this other persona that he's doing.
Yeah, that's an interesting... We'll have to talk about that in spoilers, I think. But, yeah, it's again, there's that interesting quandary where they meet, and he, even when there's sort of the romantic tension is building, he's still like, what's the character's name?
Richard Linklater. Gary Johnson. He's Ron.
He's
His
Ron.
name's Ron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when I say
sexy Ron.
When I say poisoned by pornography, I like if you want to watch pornography, I have no problem with that. But I'm just talking about how like as someone who
he's giving you the green light. Folks.
Yeah, go for it. But like as someone who
the red light,
you see it, and I've had I know friends who have been on dates, and the way that people treat sex now, and like they see things and then they think that that's how sex is, so they bring it into everyday life.
You're talking about balloons.
I'm talking about balloons, clown outfits, etc.
Yeah, that's right.
Or they've watched it now since, and this is not their fault because it's just everywhere. Like since little kids, you grow up with it, and you get this twisted perception of like reality. Yeah,
not little kids.
No, they do. Wow. As someone who's used to be a primary school and I've attended like nights, like educational nights where they talk about this stuff, kids are exposed to way more than you would think.
Ooh.
Very early. Yeah. If you're not careful. Yeah. But even if you are, some kid will just be like, I have this phone, look at this. Like it's just how it's how it is.
Pretty sexy, right? The new iPhone.
No,
it's all titanium. Look at that.
Yeah. Anyways, just before we do spoilers, I think my favorite persona of his that I saw was him doing a really hammed up Patrick Bateman.
Oh, absolutely.
I liked that one. Like the little ticks and the suit, the slicked back hair.
Yeah.
Like you'd think if you sat down with him, you'd be like, this guy's just doing Patrick Bateman.
But again, it's like this. I think what and this is probably what happened to the real Gary Johnson is like a lot of people are sort of. You find a lot of people are kind of quite especially in the suburbs, are quite insular, and they think that this sort of stuff is what you see on. Yeah, I don't know, Law and Order or like
whatever.
just like TV, and maybe they are expecting killers to be like Patrick Bateman, Yeah,
absolutely.
The idea that he is sort of tailoring his assassin persona to what people are expecting,
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it be like a kind of like urban guy,
yeah,
or a slick or like a Russian, kind of a Russian ex-military in a big leather coat or whatever.
He does like a kind of effeminate British kind of
the Tilda
Swinton one, which they're all great. It's all great stuff, Mason.
Anyway, so best movie ever.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, it may not be what you're expecting.
It's not shootouts all the time. In fact, there's no shootouts at all.
No shootouts. There is some firing of a gun.
Yeah,
but not in a real action context.
I mean, also it's a pretty clever use of the budget because they don't pour everything into a bunch of action sequences. So it just you just see the budget in everything else.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Wigs. You're talking about wigs.
Wigs, mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, spoilers, Mason.
Okay. It's the best movie ever for me.
Yeah, definitely. Check it out. I would also say it's a movie that's very unique for Netflix. There's not really anything else.
That's
like
true.
this
Because it sort of threads the needle. It's not a goofy comedy, and it's not an action movie, and it's not a kind of gritty thriller.
I mean, it's funnier than most comedies.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Spoiler time. It's time for spoilers, everybody.
Yep.
Don't be fooled. We're going to spoil you.
Ooh,
You're going to be spoiled for the movie The Hitman, Agent 47.
Yeah, good movie. Which was the better Hitman movie?
I don't think I saw the second one.
Yeah, they're both bad. I've seen them both. I've seen them both, and they're both
It's
bad.
Timothy Olyphant and then
another British guy. The guy who played, he was in Obi-Wan.
Timothy Olyphant is not British.
I know. The other guy had the long Inquisitor head in Rupert Friend?
Friend? Okay.
Friend, am I right?
Yeah, that's
Let me
exactly
check.
right.
Let me check.
Okay.
Let me see what's going on. Yeah, Rupert Friend.
Okay, great.
There you go. What a good movie. Oh, Zachary Quinto was in that. God, I remember movies. That was in 2015. Can you believe that?
I can believe it.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's basically about them getting away with stuff. So along the way, like, because they start dating, and he's stuck in this Ron persona.
That's right.
Which also slowly becomes his real persona.
Yeah, he starts getting a bit sexier.
Yeah.
He's tucking in long sleeve shirts.
Taking his glasses off.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's doing his hair in a different way.
His hair is slightly different. Yeah.
He's like, why don't I just look like Glen Powell?
And he does.
He does it, actually.
How does he do it? And so that kind of, and then her ex-husband, who was abusive and controlling, turns up in their lives.
Uh-huh.
And then, what is it? He sees her out, and then he pulls a gun on the ex-husband. They get threatened.
Yes.
And then the ex-husband goes to hire a hitman.
But it's him.
And then the ex-husband turns up dead.
Yes.
And it turns out
that she killed him.
She killed him. Yeah. Also, she killed him the way that he said to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Which is just shoot them directly in the heart.
Yes.
Which is something that he has never done. And then it's at that point that he reveals that, like, I'm not a real hitman.
Yeah.
This whole thing is, my name's Gary Johnson.
But their connection was so strong. She
Yeah.
wasn't like, well, all right.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit lied to.
We're both pretty,
and I did a murder.
Yeah, we're both pretty good looking.
Yeah,
so let's
that's
keep
true.
this going.
That's right.
Let's keep this rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then she becomes the number one suspect because also he had out the insurance policy, which I also get the feeling that that's not why she killed him anyway. She just wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's not true. Maybe she wanted to have $1 million. But then they start targeting her, and then he gets wrapped up in it because the guy whose job am I explaining this for no reason?
I don't know. Maybe some people want to know the plot of Hitman, but they don't want to look at the Wikipedia.
They have to kill the original hitman that he took over for, the original fake police officer hitman, because he figures it all out.
Yeah.
So they basically kill him together at the end.
And he seems like a bad guy, but is that worth killing him? Maybe.
They
do like each other, and they're both very good looking.
That's right, yeah. And it's done in like a blasé romantic kind of way.
Yeah.
Like as they're kind of confessing their feelings for each other, you see him just dying in the
with a bag on his head,
with a bag on his head. I wonder what they did do with the body. Oh no, they did. They discussed it, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
They were going to make it look like a suicide, and then they just live a suburban life, presumably without killing anybody
right.
else, like the real Gary Johnson.
Yeah,
this is what he did. This is what he actually.
No, they
did.
make it very clear in the credits he didn't kill anybody.
Yeah,
they made that up.
I mean, he's dead anyway now, so
he is.
You could say whatever.
You could say whatever. So it's a very magnanimous gesture to say that they made it up.
I think this does have like a lot of things in common with, like your Out of Sights or even like your Ocean's 11, etc., where it's morally ambiguous people who are very charismatic getting away with things, and you're like, good.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And you like it. Like you want them, or for me at least, I'm like, yeah, good. Good on these two.
Yeah.
Getting away with it, living a suburban life. He's cool now.
I wouldn't like any uggos getting away with anything, but
I would hate that actually. Yeah. I mean, it depends. What was their chemistry like?
Oh, two uggos with great chemistry.
Yeah.
I mean, good, but you don't want to look
Is that
at
us?
Oh. Are we allowed to do one murder?
Yeah, we're allowed to do one murder.
Or two murders?
I guess one each, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's one between two. Is it?
No, 'cause
no, they did two. We can do two.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah. I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about this?
Bit of fun.
Bit of fun.
I think I'm probably going to do a rewatch.
Yeah.
Because it's, more to...
I think also you could recommend this as a romantic comedy to people. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think you could, yeah. I think it leans way more towards romantic comedy than it does to, thriller or anything like that.
What I think is also interesting about this is that like they are trying to revitalize the romantic comedy. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the things that we've seen, even like Anyone But You or whatever, there is that formula to it. So you know the rhythm of it. Whereas something like this,
you don't know.
It's a different breed of romantic
that's so true.
comedy. And it's very sexy. Don't you think?
He does
very sexy.
He does wear those jorts.
And his hair is part
of that. To be clear, they're long jorts.
They are very long jorts.
All
right, should we move it along then?
Let's move it along.
All right, to what?
What we reading?
Yep.
What are we going to read?
Whoa.
You thought that's what we'd all
we're going to talk about the Acolyte, aren't we?
That's right, we're going to talk about the Acolyte. Spoiler.
Alkaline
Alkaline
batteries. I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? All right, we both watched episodes 1 and 2 of The Acolyte.
That's right.
We might come back to it at the end.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know.
Okay.
Depending on what week it's at and where we're at and what our names are.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like your Star Wars murder mystery set 100 years before The Phantom Menace, etc. On a budget of, what did you say it was, Mason?
$180 million.
Does that seem right to you?
That's a lot of money.
And it seems right to you.
You could make a lot of Hitman movies with it, a lot of Hitman sequels.
You could make several hundred, couldn't you?
Exactly. Especially if they reuse the old sets from the original Hitman.
Now, you might have seen, if you're visiting x.com, which I know you are.
That's right. That's the everything app. Of course,
got everything.
I do all my banking on it.
I've got all my banking on there. My passport's on there. I've just posted it.
Yeah, great.
Take a look.
Great.
Where it's got very high critical scores and very low audience scores.
Interesting.
And I think it's probably somewhere in the middle, honestly, if I'm honest.
Are you saying that there's some agendas there? Are you saying that there's some people giving this show 1 star because maybe there's a fire in space or there's sound in space?
Look, I'm sure there is that element of it.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I know they've been through it and like there are fires in space in Star Wars and it's not also real space because there's also sound. Who gives a shit, right? That's not a problem for me. Also, people are talking about how this is an attack on white men, etc., because it's a fairly diverse cast, I guess. But also,
I didn't even think of that. This is the same thing.
Exactly.
This is the thing we talked about this recently, where it's like I hate having to keep reiterating this.
Look at it this way, right? If you replaced all the lead characters in this with white men, that doesn't make it a better or worse show. This show isn't. It just is. Like, if everybody was a white guy who looked like Liam Neeson or whatever, it's the same show. The level of quality is
except some of them would
the same.
Wet themselves.
Some of them would wet themselves. Yeah.
Okay, so it's difficult to even discuss the plot of this movie, this show, without spoiling it. No. I can do it without spoiling it. Ugh. So the opening scene, we've got Amanda Stenberg.
Yep.
She is playing some kind of assassin who challenges a Jedi to a battle to the death.
Fight me with all your force.
And then immediately afterwards, Amanda Stenberg is playing a mechanic who works on a starship. She's just a lowly mechanic.
And she's like, I used to be a Jedi.
And she's like, I'm not going to tell you what I was up to this weekend. I was just off. And so that's the hook. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I liked it. I thought it was an interesting hook.
Yeah, I don't mind the hook. I'm not sure about the execution.
Oh, interesting. See, okay, well, I would say this is someone who's not a fan of I wouldn't say I'm not a fan. I would say I'm not a fan of Star Wars.
You say that all the time.
As someone who is not, I do not feel compelled to see anything through to the bitter end. I don't. Unless I have to watch an Ahsoka, I'm probably not going to.
Yeah.
I think of that Ahsoka was not anything to me. It was not interesting. It didn't look good.
Yep.
None of it was surprising or thrilling.
Yep.
I thought The Acolyte was pretty good. The first 2 episodes of this. I liked that it, Star Wars I think is always good when it's wearing its influences on its sleeve. And like the original Star Wars, it was the Hidden Fortress and Seven Samurai and etc.
Yep.
And this feels to me like they've gone, what about Kung Fu?
Yeah, sometimes Kung Fu.
Sometimes Kung Fu. And I thought the Kung Fu action sequences were very interesting.
I think some of the action sequences are pretty good. I mean, early on, there's one with Trinity from the
Carrie-Anne
Matrix.
Moss,
Carrie-Anne Moss. So I think that is staged really well.
She's still got it?
She's still got it.
Well, she's still got it, or they've just staged it very well.
Or she never had it.
Maybe she never had it. That's right.
I think Lee Jung-jae, who's from Squid Game, is really good.
He learned English for this, apparently.
Yeah, just like really amazing. And being able to kind of learn English to this extent and also being able to emote properly in another language is pretty impressive. I find it baffling they put Daphne Keane under that much makeup. I think if you had Daphne Keane, and she's obviously in Logan and whatever, and she puts an amazing performance in that, I would not have known that this was Daphne Keane through performance or through the way that she looks. That's confusing to me. I think it does look better than Ahsoka. But there is something about the aesthetic, and it's not in every scene, where it feels staged or costumes aren't
like a television show.
Things aren't like kit bashed enough, and like Do you know?
But I think a lot of it is like there's
some of it is.
Some of it is. There's, there's a one thing I liked. There's a scene on I guess a prison transport ship, an automated prison transport ship, and you've got the droids, the piloting droids are in the seats, like they're built into the seats. I thought that was
her
a lot
droid's
of fun.
like a little Palm Pilot.
She's got a. I mean, all Star Wars needs like a new cute little thing that they can sell merch of, and has this Pip, which is a little robot. Even smaller than BB-8. What? Even smaller than BB-8's little friend, who's even littler. Yeah, but it's like a little PDA that you keep clips to a belt. Yeah. And it's got various functions. It's got a fire extinguisher. It's got all the
space.
It's got all the classic R2-D2 stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun. And there was some good freaks. There's that guy, and he's got a big egg head, and he's got a tiny little visor for eyes.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
He's a good looking freak.
He's a good freak.
I think I know what you're saying though, because they need to. Because this is prior to the Phantom Menace, so the look we're going for is sort of cleaner than
it's the High Republic
the original
era.
series. Yeah, so I mean, I liked that there was a variety of different Jedi robes.
Yeah, sure, different outfits and whatnot.
I thought the initial mystery was quite compelling, even though it's pretty much wrapped up at this 2 episodes in. We already know we're not in spoilers yet. Yeah, but pretty much we already know
what's going on
there. But I thought the hook was nice.
Yes, that I think is my problem with this. That where unless there's some pretty big red herrings in here, and maybe there is.
I mean, there's got to be at least one, which we'll talk about in spoilers. Should we do spoilers now?
Let's do spoilers.
I'm going to say best series ever thus far. I liked it a lot more than I've liked a lot of recent Star Wars. And I think maybe that's because I don't care. I don't care, but I'm also, I think maybe it is. But I'm not forcing myself to watch all
I didn't mean that
these.
in a bad way.
I think I'm not, there's some, again, like you've said, there's so much Star Wars, you can pick and choose what you want. And to me, this was compelling enough, and I like the characters. And I'm excited to see where this goes. So
I turned it off the first episode. It was kind of getting late, and there was like 10 minutes left, and I went, I'll see you tomorrow. And I think that says something about how invested I was in this, because I think in the first episode, you know enough about what's going on where I'm like, I get it.
Sure, okay.
Like, I'm not like, what's next? Who's the next thing? Whatever. What happened? Are they... I can't spoil it.
Okay, but you have to pick best series ever or not.
It's the best series ever made.
That's great.
Yeah. Not just...
You're so dismissive of the system we've developed here. Okay, we're in spoilers. Big time spoilers for The Acolyte.
Yeah.
So, of course, the initial thought is, well, Amanda Stenberg, she's doing assassins. She's a mechanic, but she's also,
she's sneaking off.
She's sneaking off to be an assassin, but actually no.
Because she used to be a Jedi.
That's exactly right. But actually, though, she had a twin sister when she was a child.
Who died in a fire.
Well, maybe, but then she actually didn't.
Maybe there's no fires on Earth and planets, but there is in space.
Maybe that's
how
why
she survived.
Maybe that's right.
I didn't like the fire most. It made me upset. Yeah. I'm a fucking idiot.
People are like, oh, how could she not know? How could she not sense the presence using the Force of her sister? Well, Luke and Leia couldn't.
Exactly.
They didn't know.
They didn't know.
They didn't know at all.
Ben and Kylo Ren and Rey didn't know they were a Force dyad.
Ben and Lawrence don't know they're brothers. Our editors for the Mr. Sunday Movies videos. They're brothers. They don't even know.
They don't know.
I don't know.
Don't tell them, by the way.
They don't tell them.
Yeah. I don't care. I don't care about any of that.
But anyway, so what the good sister is a mechanic now. She's doing sort of grunt work on the outside of starships, which is normally droid
for the
work.
Trade Federation, who should be more racist caricatures, by the way. Lean into that.
You think you think it's too woke that they've unracist
they've unracist them. They shouldn't have.
But anyway, the sister who we all thought was dead, she's actually still alive.
Yeah.
She's got super Jedi powers, and she is out for revenge. She's got some sort of evil master.
Who is it?
Who wants her to kill 4
Who is it?
Jedi. Well, I don't know. We don't know yet. That's the mystery.
Yeah, it is.
Do you think is
It's Jason from The Good Place.
Oh.
That guy.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
guy she's
great.
hanging out with.
Oh, no.
Unless that's a big red herring.
Yeah, right, okay.
But there was a moment at the end of the first episode where she goes back to the planet where she's training or whatever. And it's obvious at that point, she's obviously been trained in the Sith or whatever. And she looks up and there's a man standing in all black and he looks like Kylo Ren. And you're like, oh, that's the Sith guy who's been training her. And then he lights up a red lightsaber.
Yep.
Like nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Like if you're this deep in Star Wars, right? If you somehow stumbled across this, you'd probably figure out what's going on.
You gotta
right?
see it though, don't you?
Yeah, shit like that, it's like pointless.
Yeah. Maybe he was on the phone with Darth Maul.
Maybe
they were showing each other their lightsabers.
Maybe they were, yeah. I guess it's a Star Wars thing, isn't it? But and also like it is this detective mystery about who's killing these Jedi.
Yeah.
We know that it's the sister, it's the twin sister, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's probably the guy that she's with and working with who pretends he's a bumbling fool.
Right.
Is probably her master.
But we don't know why yet. Because she is being told that she has to kill them without weapons.
Yeah.
That's why we have to do.
Oh, I think the director just came out and mentioned why.
Well, they have to do it kung fu style. That's why,
It's something. It's some reason I can't remember why. And I don't. Again, all those fights are fine, but I also think what I don't like about this, but I guess could also be seen as a positive, is that they put the Jedi onto this murder mystery.
Yes.
And Jedi, and we see this in The Phantom Menace, they're fucking stupid.
Yeah, they are.
They don't know anything. And I think what maybe
But they have the power, and they're like, well, we're
doing what's happening? They can't figure anything out.
Well, that's the thing.
So the audience figures it out, and they don't. So I think there should be a guy who's a real detective that they pair them with.
A Sam Spade type.
A white man.
Oh, that's right.
No, just whoever. It doesn't matter. It could be a fucking droid, but just someone who's like, you're not a detective. You've been trained how to meditate and like cut a rock in half with a sword. Like this is how you engage in a situation like this.
But I think you're right. And maybe we'll see that later. But I think that a thread that people seem to be with Star Wars that people seem to be deliberately turning a blind eye to is that they are bad at a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's why I said that maybe it is actually a strength.
Yeah. They have decided that they're the world's peacekeepers, and they're so arrogant that they're like, well, we've got all the power, so I think the genuine interpretation of the Jedi Order is that they're just. They're a
cult.
They're a cult, and they deserve what's coming to them. Like when they went, there's a guy who's going to bring balance to the Force. That'll be good for us. That'll be good for us, I think.
He'll be on our side.
Yeah, he'll be on our side. So we got in supporting cast is Charlie Barnett is the sort of the he's a newish Jedi Knight, and so I like the fact that he was so very by the book and
he's ripped.
He's ripped and by the book. I thought that was cool. I liked him a lot.
I think it's cast really well.
The actor got some flack because he said something in
that Anakin Skywalker blew up the Death Star.
Yeah, but like,
who gives a shit? Why do people care about that?
But also,
Tony Gilroy made Andor. He fucking hates Star Wars, and I love that about him.
This character doesn't need to know anything about Anakin Skywalker or the Death Star or Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker or any of that because that's hundreds or possibly thousands of years in the future for this guy. Doesn't matter.
Years, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Who cares? I almost, I think it's good to have a balance of people who know what this is and people who are just like, yeah, it's an interesting role that I took on.
Also, Carrie-Anne Moss dies.
Yeah.
Not the actor. She's alive.
She's alive, thank God. I think she's going to return in flashbacks where you
find out
as
a Force Ghost.
Who was really on fire.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But
who was really on fire.
But I think that was a nice establishment of the stakes because we assumed that as a name actor, she was going to be kung fu and all about the place for the entire series. But she just gets a dagger through the heart. And
but
Mason,
a knife can't kill a person.
But
a lightsaber can't kill a person or something. That
so
discourse.
True.
Did you see that discourse?
Of course I saw the discourse.
And you
of course
it.
I'm saying I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Well, Jedi should be able to just pop it out of themselves.
I agree.
Pop a dagger out of themselves.
Keep the blood in your body.
Keep the blood in there.
There's a lot of things they should be able to do that they don't because they're stupid. Yeah, I don't know. I think my problem with the murder mystery is that if it is what it is, and maybe there's a twist in here that I have not seen coming yet, right? I think
that's pretty likely to happen.
Yeah. I mean, like other than the things that I've said, then maybe I've read this wrong. But it does feel very, especially because it's from Leslie Headland who did like Russian Doll. It just feels very by the numbers murder mystery where most of the pieces were revealed about 20 minutes into the first episode.
Yeah, right.
That's how I see it.
Well, guess what? You're probably going to get fooled.
I hope I do.
Or I'm the fool.
I genuinely hope that I do. Yeah. And again, like it's fine. And you don't have to watch it also, you know?
As I thought as the number one Star Wars fan that you are, you would have liked this more. But there you go.
Turns
out maybe I'm the number one Star Wars fan.
Maybe you are now. I didn't even hate it. Honestly, I didn't hate it. I thought it was, again, it was fine.
Again, I hope we can put that on the advertising for episodes.
I didn't even hate it.
3+ didn't even hate it. Mr. Sunday Movie's number one Star Wars fan.
I couldn't muster up the enthusiasm to hate it. But also I see a lot of people are really enjoying it, which is great, and a lot of people are really hating it, which is also great. I see both sides.
We know you do.
And that makes me
a coward.
Better than everyone.
No, a coward.
Should we move it along?
Let's move it along.
What are we going to do, though?
I think we should do some letters.
Okay.
And I'll start that by cracking open the letters.
Now's the perfect opportunity, actually.
Because, we do it every week in this, roughly this time span. This
it's around. It's normally around this time.
It is, yeah. I'll do it now. I'll do the letters thing.
I'm ready.
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away. You know they're here right now. We're going to do letters.
Wow. If you do want to reach the show, it's simple. All you have to do is go on Twitter. Ugh. But you can just hashtag Weekly Planet Pod there, can't you?
That's right. Once you finish your banking on X, the Everything app.
Or if you want to avoid all of that, you can go weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
That's right. We did get an email from Laura this week.
Yeah.
And Laura said, the kind folks on Reddit helped me find your email address, weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com. She said, I don't listen to your podcast, but my husband did religiously. He passed away 3 weeks ago. The last couple of years have been a struggle, to say the least. There were many days he did not get out of bed, and all he'd do is listen to the Weekly Planet, Big Sandwich, Caravan of Garbage, and whatever other content you both made. He described it to me as the perfect intersection of his interests, and it felt like he was hanging out with his friends. He would listen to episodes multiple times and go back into the archives and listen to those as well. He would also recount stories or anecdotes from you two, and you started to feel like extended friends. I just wanted to pass along a huge thank you for bringing much-needed happiness to my late husband when he needed it the most. I know the shows are generally lighthearted, filled with movie discussions, comic news, etc., but it made a big difference to him, and for that, I'm eternally grateful. Thank you, Laura.
I mean, that's an incredibly kind thing to say.
It's very nice of you to say.
And also to send out which would be the most difficult time of your life, obviously, to take the time to reach out, and to all the people who pointed you towards us.
That's right.
So we could see this. We really appreciate it. I mean, it's the kind of situation where it's an unfathomable loss for us.
Absolutely.
It's not something we've experieed. Our condolences, obviously, with you, your husband.
Hope you're looking after yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hope you're not listening to this.
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And look, there's so many kind comments in the Reddit underneath as well. Collins, who of course edits this and does many other things, mentioned also to take the time to look after yourself, which
absolutely.
we would like to, I guess, jump off the back of that and reiterate, I guess, But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't have any words for this really at all.
No.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing okay. Yeah. No. I often recount stories about what my mates got up to, and I'm really just.
And it's
talking.
Me on this podcast.
No, I'm talking about better podcasts.
Oh, okay, right.
Then I'll be like, oh yeah, a friend of mine said this, and I'm like, a friend didn't say this. I heard it on a podcast.
That's right.
But they're my friends too.
And I really appreciate. We really appreciate you letting us know how much it meant to him, because it is for us. It feels like a very silly and selfish pursuit often.
It is.
And so just hearing something like that, it's nice to hear that we had some measure of happiness in his life from us, among other things, I'm sure, which he was eternally grateful for. But no, thank you so much, Laura. We hope you're doing okay and take the time to look after yourself and those who are close with you and your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a really hard left turn?
I would love to take a really hard left turn, Mason.
Okay, here's an email from Aiden who said, your Red Notice commentary got me covered in toilet water.
Probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
The duality of podcasting.
Isn't it though? That's right. Yeah, this is we're back in our wheelhouse, James.
We certainly are.
Hey, James and Maso, I recently moved out of my parents' house and I've spent the last week unpacking and building furniture. While I was installing a new bidet on my bidet on my toilet, I was listening to your Red Notice commentary on Big Sandwich. However, the valve that led under the tank came undone and heaps of toilet water began to spill onto the bathroom floor.
That's bad, isn't it?
Now I will forever associate Red Notice with being covered in toilet water during my movie like some weird Pavlov experiment. Do you have any examples of media that you associate with a big life event? That's cheers, Aiden from Toronto.
I remember watching things when I'd have the flu. So I had this fever kind of I think it was about 10 or 12 years ago. With Claire, we got the flu and we watched.
Oh, you got it together?
We did.
That's so sweet.
And we were house sitting a house, and it was for the summer holidays. We're like, wow, but someone gave us the flu, I would name him. I want to name him because he knew he was sick, Mason, that dog.
Do I know who it is?
Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
and
some of the list of suspects have popped up in my brain. I'll narrow it down.
yeah, and so we watched Anne of Green Gables, and it's like a fever dream. Like I don't even really remember it, but I associate Anne of Green Gables with having the flu.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know. Look, I bet there's some caravan of garbage.
You
movies.
vomited when we saw The Force Awakens. You vomited 100 times.
I also vomited during the movie The Three Musketeers.
Did you?
The one with
the Charlie Sheen
Yeah,
one?
the one with Oliver Platt and what have you. Yeah.
What? Just the floor?
No, the movie theater bathroom.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you just ran out and
yeah, it was mostly orange juice.
Okay.
Now that I'm thinking about it, so now every time I think about that movie, I think about a wonderful, just an orange scented bathroom.
Were your parents with you, or did you just run out by yourself?
No, I was by myself. I don't think my parents were there at all. I don't think they had any interest in.
Did you go to the movie by yourself, or were you with friends?
I think I was with friends.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is when I had friends.
Yeah.
This is before the orange incident.
Sure.
The orange vomit bathroom Three Musketeers situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Did you like the movie?
Yeah, I think it's fun.
It's pretty fun, isn't it?
Yeah. We should do a caravan of garbage on it.
Or a commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely. I remember I watched that movie a lot as a kid.
I can probably pinpoint the moment where maybe it was after. I think it might have been after the movie.
It's kind of like
before. No, you know what it was before.
Okay.
Fun fact about me: I'm a very casual vomiter.
Casual?
I can vomit and then just go back into whatever I was doing.
Yeah, I used to be able to do a bit of that, but that was more kind of alcohol related.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like some people, and most people
it'll lay them out for a week.
Yeah, you're done for the day. You like vomit, and you're like, okay, I'm going home, everyone.
But you'll start the day with a vomit.
I'll start the day with a vomit,
and then go for a jog.
That's right.
Or you'll be a vomit/jog.
I'll have a coffee with some orange flavoring in it, and then I'll vomit it all up, and then I'll start again. Yeah.
All right, this is from Metal Eugenio, who said, hashtag Weekly Planet Pod, would you rather see a Sunshine remake, prequel, or sequel? Well, the prequel would be The Sun is Dying, and it'd be about the first crew, I guess.
And what was the
sequel?
Well, the sequel would be The Sun Goes Out Again.
Yeah.
This thing didn't work.
Yeah.
This sacrifice everybody made in the previous movie didn't work.
Or it cuts to Earth and you go, it did work and we're fine.
That's nice.
Remake.
Remake, okay.
I don't want any Sunshine anything.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm okay with. I mean, I wouldn't mind something Soldier-esque, which is set in the Blade Runner universe,
okay,
where you have something. Maybe it's the Children of Men kind of universe as well. Something else is going on at Earth at this time. Right. I would be interested in that. But if you've seen Sunshine, it's got a pretty definitive ending for everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I don't think there's much room for anything directly.
What about Sunshine 2 now the sun's too hot?
It's too hot now.
Yeah, all new cast.
We've got to send we've
got to throw a fridge into the sun.
A big tray of ice cubes to the sun.
Right, exactly. We're going to take a piece of Pluto and we've got to throw it into the sun to cool it down.
I would 100% recommend the movie Sunshine. The podcast I did with Ben and Lawrence where we talked about the movie Sunshine.
Oh.
Which I can't remember. Let me find that.
Yeah. I mean, do you think a remake could do it better?
No.
See, people I see this sentiment on social media quite a lot. It's don't remake a movie that is really good.
Pointless.
Remake a movie that had a really interesting concept but didn't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Or that nobody saw kind of thing. You don't want to... if you can't top Sunshine, don't remake it.
Don't even bother.
Yeah. But how about
The Thing is a good example of that.
Yeah.
Where the original Thing, as far as I can tell, probably I haven't seen it, is pretty good.
Oh, The Thing from Another World.
Yeah, but the remake is it's a whole other thing.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, conceptual and thematically it's probably the same.
Yes.
And they definitely set a guy on fire.
Yeah,
at the end of
absolutely.
The Thing from Another World. But yeah, to bring it to a new... I mean...
It's hard to know, isn't it,
It's
Mason?
hard to know, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't find this goddamn podcast. Anyway, someone will find it and hopefully link it below.
Is it Lawrence's podcast?
Yes.
Another happy pod, is it?
Yeah, but it's not. He doesn't have. It's not linked into his Twitter anymore.
Wow.
Yeah,
because he's ashamed of it.
Yeah,
That's just that episode.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Wow. Wow. Of those options, I would like a sequel.
Okay, fair enough.
That's right. Another different thing is happening, and they're like, "Oh, bloody hell, bloody hell!" And it's set the next day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of the. How?
Well, that's kind of like
the TV series 24 is funnier
Yeah.
if you think that every season is happening in the same week. Like he has one 24-hour day that's a nightmare, and then the next day the next one starts and it's the same again. Like that's so it's another Sunshine style disaster.
Oh my God.
But it's the next day.
I just found it as well. It's on Twitter. I mean, it's on YouTube, but it's an older episode, but it only ran on a few months ago. If you look up Sunshine featuring Mr. Sunday Movies, another happy pod, it will be there.
Now here's an email. There's one more email from Jacob. Subject line: criticism you found fair. Hello, boys.
Of us. There's heaps.
Yeah, heaps. Hello, boys. So he starts.
Hello.
I've been listening since I was 16-ish in 2014.
What?
I was a younger man, so I sent some cringe emails to you, like casting a Harrison Ford impressionist as Han Solo. People have suggested that.
That's fine.
Yeah. I was curious if either of you have expressed an opinion on the podcast that was met with some criticism that you found valid. Can be as trivial as an opinion on a movie, but since you put so much of your opinions out there, by nature of the job, face constant criticism. I was curious if you've ever seen or read something that actually made you reflect and change your opinion. Anyway, cheers for all the smiles and episodes through good and bad.
God, Mason, I wish this was an email I knew before.
To my literal real-life best friends, cheers, Jacob.
Jacob?
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, we call him Jakey.
Do we?
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Bad opinion Jakey, we call him.
Doesn't know a goddamn
I would say
thing,
as a general rule, though, yes, our opinions are bad. I know my opinions are bad. I also feel like...
I mean, you like that Star Wars show.
I do, for now. But that's the thing as well. I'm very willing to...
Yeah, and same. If it takes a turn, then I'll like it.
I'm very willing to dislike it if it turns out bad. But I also find, even though this does go down, it's we put it on wax.
Yeah.
There's a final version of this podcast of every episode and it goes out there. I'm very happy to say that none of these are my final opinions, not because I'm going to fold to pressure or anything like that, but oftentimes I'll watch a movie, especially an older one, and it's a movie that I've watched years ago, and then somebody goes, "Oh, look at the sound design, look at this action sequence, whatever it is," and it's something I've forgotten about, and I go, "Oh yeah, there was a lot of depth to that."
I love The Acolyte.
Yeah, exactly. I do that. I double love it. I used to just little bit love it, but now I double love it, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I'm similar. I mean, I'll revisit things and be like, actually, I was wrong about that.
Everything is subject to change here.
I mean, sometimes, I think people understand that, especially if they've listened before, where we don't really have a hard and fast opinion on anything. Every now and then we'll get somebody who will write a 1-star review. It'll be like, you said this movie's not very good, but it's actually very good. We'll get something like that. But most people,
you said it was okay, and you said that because you're afraid.
It'll
or whatever.
mostly be something like that.
We're not afraid of anyone, least of all you. But it's
that's not. Yeah, I mean,
we don't get anything we don't get any money from any studios or anything like that. We don't. I mean, I think we're on some people's bad lists.
It appears to be.
But there's no benefit or what's the opposite of a benefit?
Lack of benefit?
Yeah, lack of benefit. There's no cost to us saying anything other than our real opinions. It doesn't,
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And I think also for me at least, the way I see it, where if our opinions that we can change them, or that we don't really attend any premieres or whatever stuff anymore, or take a lot of sponsorships. Not that they're even reaching out to us.
Well, that's the thing. I think we're on some people's blacklists now.
Yeah, we're not getting...
I always used to say, because we'd often meet, we'd go to a movie premiere or the media screening or whatever it is, and we meet someone, they'd be like, "Oh, this is my first time going to one of these. Or do I have to say it's good or whatever?" And we go, "Nah, you don't have to say it's good. You can say whatever you can say whatever you want." And I've always said, "Yeah, you can say whatever you want. They just keep inviting you to stuff." I think maybe some of them have stopped inviting us to stuff.
Well, I've also stopped replying to a bunch of stuff. You get off the mailing lists and whatever. But no, we're not invited to press junkets overseas and whatever. No. But also we don't do
interviews.
Interviews or out of the theater reactions or whatever, which again, I don't have a problem with, but I don't want to do that. It's too much work, quite frankly. And having attended stuff earlier before for a lot of for many years, I don't like that I'd have to have an opinion straight away. I like leaving it for 3 or 4 days.
Exactly.
And then reading everybody else's reviews.
And then taking your opinions from those. That's right. No, just a sentence at a time so it doesn't look like you stole it,
I start putting the document together for this podcast during the week, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's right, that," and I'll just quickly jot a note down, and I'll do that several times during the week.
Often as well, I'll especially with something like Furiosa, which we watched last week or possibly the week before. It was the week before.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it and review it.
Did that bomb?
Yeah, it did really badly. It's worst movies ever made. But afterwards, I will after the recording, I will go, oh, what about that scene?
Yeah.
What about this thing? What about this? Like
We do that all the time.
We're really under no pressure while recording to, have to hastily recall anything. But oftentimes after, once you've had a little bit of extra time to reflect, you go, oh, what about that scene? What about this thing? Oh, okay, yeah, no, it actually was a bit better than I remembered or whatever it is,
Also, a lot of the reviewers that like you might see who are, I don't know, popular, but they go viral for like various, like, this is too much of this or that or whatever, for reasons that people I'm sure have seen. I feel like there's it's so obvious that I know that review before I'm going to see it, and I think there's no value in that either.
Yeah, right.
But I like to think at least that where we try, it's not always the case, but probably with the Acolyte, but we try to look at things like, this isn't even true, I think. But I really try not to go into something being like, well, because of this, I'm going to hate this.
Right.
Like for Venom 3, I'm like, I didn't like those movies, but fuck it. Let's see what happens.
There's a horse in it. There's a Venom horse in it.
And maybe I'm just a sucker. But I also think that I hope at least that people see that because we don't take money for things and whatever and we are flexible I think that's why people listen as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know why anybody does anything. Yeah. Anyways, I got one here from Flock Jordan who says,
to answer your question,
you can say anything.
You can say anything. We change our opinions all the time because we're cowards.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We don't want to get cancelled by either side.
No.
It's a delicate balance of saying the things that won't get us cancelled.
I say Star Wars is sometimes bad, but not for the reasons that other people think it is.
That's right.
That's how I ride the line. Flock Jordan, #WeeklyPlanetPod says, surprised you all haven't done a Terminator commentary. There's a Terminator Netflix series coming out later this year.
There is.
An anime. We're going to do
Who's the voice of Terminator?
Mr. Terminator.
No, there's a guy.
Robert Patrick.
Nope.
Patrick Roberts?
No.
Eric Roberts.
I don't think it's Eric Roberts. I'm gonna find it.
Okay. Anyways, so we're going to look at Terminator 1 and 2 for Caravan of Garbage before that. We've already done 3 versions of Terminator 3.
Netflix says the voice of the Terminator is Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, I like Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, me too. I currently like it.
I'm the Terminator, you'd say.
And I was Hitman.
And I was Hitman, Agent 47, but not in the movie Agent 47.
No, that was Rupert Friend, as we all know. As we all know.
That's good, isn't it?
That's right.
I think that's the show, though.
It is the whole show. Folks, thank you so much for listening. We absolutely appreciate it. Hope it brings you some joy.
We do.
And if it doesn't, quit listening.
Yeah. Back off.
That's right.
Man. Rack off.
Yeah, rack off. You should edit your podcast Marie Kondo style. If it doesn't spark joy, delete it. It's fine.
That's true, actually.
It is very true.
Yeah.
Folks, thank you for listening. Thank you for telling your friends about the podcast because that is how we get new listeners. And thank you for leaving a 5-star review on your podcast catcher of choice.
Yep.
If you do so, James will read it out on the podcast. He'll do it right now.
I'm going to do one right now. This is one from my username is Prana V. It says, podcast review. This is a podcast. I enjoy this podcast. The review is rated 5 stars. These are not real stars. These are digital stars.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's very true. I feel like we're digital stars, We're not movie stars, but
it's true. We're digital stars.
Podcasting
we're new
stars.
Media stars, I think.
Yeah. We're 40-plus-year-old new media stars.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're a very specific type of influencer.
I agree. This is from Ethan from DC. He says, glaring omission. Uh-oh, is trouble. It's 5 stars, though. What does that mean? A good podcast, despite the fact they never mention that Mark Wahlberg's character in Transformers and Dennis Quaid's character in Disney's Strange World share an eerie similar name, that being Cade Yeager and Yeager Claude, respectively.
Wow.
Why is nobody talking about this? Are they all in on it? Yes.
We're in on it.
We're all in on it.
Yeah. We will not compromise. We will not compromise our values, except to say they've told us not to mention that eerie coincidence, and so we won't.
Anyway, it's a great podcast I've been listening to since the BVS days and haven't missed a week since.
Yeah.
I have loved all my listening experiences, even those I've awkwardly shared with my family who just don't get it. Yeah, sorry about that. Keep up the good work.
Folks, if you want to get into contact with us, you can go to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com. You can go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group or the Weekly Planet Podcast subreddit and Discord for fun civil chats about podcasts and all things pop culture. Thank you to Fidel and Maisie and Sarabi for moderating those forums and also doing TikToks and clips channels and all sorts of stuff. We're on the TikTok.
Yeah, we're on TikTok.
We're young men on the TikTok.
We're young men.
We should do one TikTok, I reckon. No. Did you get the keys to the TikTok?
We're talking.
No, but we'll do a dance.
Oh, okay.
We'll do a dance and we'll point at things.
Yeah.
And it'll just be us and we're like, we're very old and tired. And the words come up.
And then we fall over.
But
we really fall over. Like we actually hurt ourselves.
It's terrific.
It's not a joke, Mason.
That's correct. If you want to follow some people on the socials, follow our friend Rob Collings on Twitter. He edits this podcast, makes all sorts of stuff. He's at Raw Collings on Twitter. He's at The Weekly Planet on Twitter. He'll keep you up to date on all things The Weekly
He'll keep you
Planet.
up to date.
I am Wikipedia Brown on Twitter and Nick Maso on Instagram. James is Mr. Sunday Movies
Everywhere.
If you want to support the show, you go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. You chuck in $1 or an amount you would not miss. Any amount or no amount. It's fine.
I think The Boys starts this week.
Oh, we should watch The Boys
and
for next
also
week.
Inside Out 2.
Okay, all right.
So we can do those.
Yeah.
So you know that thing we said we were going to do?
Oh, yeah.
We'll do this.
We'll do this instead. This new Emotions.
Starts on June 13th. There's 2 episodes. So we can talk about that.
Okay.
But also we're probably going to do a wrap-up episode.
Yeah.
Have you seen Inside Out 1s?
Yes.
And?
Did we not talk about it on the show?
What if your emotions had feelings?
Yeah, that's true.
What if your legs had a head?
I'll tell you what. A lot of chats get an angry, the anger guy, and his head's exploding.
Yeah.
That gets a workout in any chat I'm in.
Yeah?
I'm enraged all the time.
Oh, you're doing it?
Yeah, no, and I'm enraging others.
You're spamming.
Yeah,
What chats you in? What kind of group chats you got going on? Just tell me.
all sorts.
But are they themed or are they different mates groups?
Oh no, they're not themed.
They're not themed?
No.
No, you don't have a Wedding Crashers appreciation chat? When's Wedding Crashers 2 coming?
Oh, we could start that thread in the Planet Broadcaster Great Mates group.
Someone could.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
They got to recast Frank the Tank.
They should, shouldn't they?
Who should be the new Frank the Tank?
Me. I'll do it.
No, you can't do it.
Oh, they could just have the original Frank the Tank. Also, you should see The Watchers. I saw it. It was pretty good.
Okay, great.
All right, bye.
Wait, we got to steal more stuff.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, thank you
Bye.
for Bruton the Basilisk and Rackham for all the musical themes. T-shirts at tpublic.com. Search for The Weekly Planet.
Yep.
And that's everything.
Bye. God.
Grab that Jamie,
It's
guys.
only
We'll see you
got
next week.
30% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's actually surprising
What are
to
you
me.
talking about? The Watchers?
The Watchers, yeah.
Okay.
That's surprising. I actually thought it was quite good.
Nepo discourse.
Yeah, maybe.
Nepo baby discourse.
I am very interested in Trap, though, which I saw a trailer for before, which is Josh Hartnett, but he's a serial killer.
We've talked about it.
I know. I'm telling people who don't know the things that I know because I know everything. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.